right. What's up, y'all? What's good? What's poppin'? What's gully? And welcome to the Social Night Owl podcast. The podcast at night. Pamela Z, she is in the bathroom at this moment. So when she pops up on here, yes, she is on the air, you guys. She left us yet again, but it's fine. It is fine. We got a nice little setup going on to where you guys can hear her nice and perfectly. We also have a wonderful guest in the building. Today is a anxiety roller coaster, you guys. Today is an anxiety roller coaster story time, done a little bit differently, but I think this way that is done is an awesome way. Today we have Fatima in the building. Fatima, what's up, girl?
Nothing much, girl. Vibing, living. I'm glad to be here.
Thank
you for having me on.
Glad to have you, girl. Fatima is a Walmarter. One of our Walmart associates, one of our Walmart homegirls, one of our Walmart sisters, our Walmart loves. For life. Yes, she got a little stuff she wanna break out and bring forth to you guys, because you know anxiety roller coaster is about defeats, achievements, or whatever you have it, about stuff that we conquered and stuff that actually broke us down and conquered us. So let's go ahead and give her the mic. Let's first of all give a shout out your all your socials, girl. What's going on with you?
Shout out to my Instagram. It's sophisticated TT. It's I can't even spell right. SOPHISTI period KATED_TT. I have a Facebook as Fatima Diallo, if you're in Senegal, Fatima Diallo, and that's all I have for right now.
Awesome.
Well, we love you, Fatima.
All right, she's back on the mic, y'all. All right, so what's going on with you, girl?
I really just had a lot going on. I lost my mom this year, about 3 going on 4 months ago, and it really made a transition in my perspective of life. It shattered a lot of relationships that I had, and it also let me introduce some other people in my life who I thought I couldn't depend on. You know, it showed they were reliable. And then my partner, he also stayed strong in some of my weakest and most vulnerable points. So I feel like I learned just such a tremendous lesson this year, you know.
Awesome.
And I feel like I can get a little deeper into that.
All right, let's get into it. So where you want to start? So you lost your mother when are the dates?
I lost my mother August 5th after 16 days in the ICU at Moses Cone Hospital, and she was there because she had her 4th massive stroke.
Damn.
And so of course this was an ongoing battle, you know. So it was something that I don't want to say was expected, but we gradually seen coming along, you know. And it just left me in awe how things turned out, not simply because of how she died, but things that happened when she died and afterwards. The people like my father, who were supposed to be dependable, were asked out, and
Dang, girl.
people like my cousin, who I would have called my best friend literally mere days before my mom died, she also was asked out, like left me asked out, I guess. It was eye-opening. I guess I can start with my mom entered the hospital, I want to say June 21st, and July 21st, excuse me. And I was there with her every single day. I'm thinking, we're going to come out of this strong. Mm-hmm. She's going to learn how to use her left side of her body again. We're going to get this shit handled, you know?
Yeah.
I'm talking to dozens of doctors a day because she has a whole team dedicated to her. It was, and some odd reason, that's what made it so real to me. Right. You know what I mean? Because the urgency, I guess, that even the hospital had. So it definitely wasn't something that they could do better. You know, it was just something I had to deal with as it was. But what they ended up bringing to my attention was my mom was never going to be the same again.
Dang.
And if you know my mom, she's a feisty, independent.
Girl, I remember her coming in Walmart. She feisty.
Okay, she don't want nobody taking care of her,
right?
But so much. That's just her personality. She's the one who likes to take care of everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure with the quality of life that she would have been left in, she would not have been happy.
What is y'all's relationship, you and your mother?
I mean, that right there is my backbone. My mom is my partner in crime. My mom would literally climb mountains for me as a mother. Like, she's a really good mother. My mom really was different than most moms. From my friends' moms, none of them were comparable to my mom as far as the standard of keeping up with, like, not only your child, but investing in your child, investing in other people's children. Like, she really was a mother to so many people more than me, although I'm her only biological child.
Cool.
So that was our relationship. My mom was a great person, and she literally would, like, find a way. Like,
right.
Moms making shakes.
Right.
Shout out to moms.
I only ask because there's, like, we go through so much different conversations and hear so much people about the hatred they have for their parent. And it's like, why should I, even though that's your mother? What do you mean, why should you? I don't care if she told you to jump off a bridge, you do it. She told you to do it. But all right, so when is this climax? Like, you're at the hospital, she's gone, or is it are you going through something while she's passing?
Like, it helped me having every day to be with her, of course, gradually seeing her in that state. I just didn't want to remember her that way. Basically, what helped me was knowing I gave everything in me to make things better when she was capable of talking. She was non-responsive for those last 16 days. She was in there for 16 days. I was there every day. And on that 16th day is what I'm going to skip to. This is when they told me basically I had to make a decision. Either she was going to get a tracheoscopy, I want to call it, or a trach, so they could put the ventilator on that for however long it takes for her to figure out how to breathe again.
Yeah. And
so much of her left side of her brain was damaged, which is the part that gives you mobility, gives you speech, gives you everything. So, or majority of the things that you need, you know what I mean?
Right.
Physically. So we had no idea if she was even still there within those days that we were with her at the hospital. Like, sometimes I'd gain some hope when she had gripped my hand really hard, even though that was, like, very rarely. She didn't open her eyes for nothing but mere seconds, excuse me, within all of those days. So that's what really was a red flag to them, or whatever, right, to help and get the decision made, because it looked like it was a long fight, if it was a fight. And that was also a hard pillow to swallow. Mind you, I'm 22, so I'm like, this is a lot. I'm an only child. She has a husband that she's been separated from for years.
Yeah.
On and off for years, and the relationship was really just hell sometimes. And it just seemed like it was left up to me. Literally, no one else was there to make any decisions at all. So I just felt like that was a big pill to swallow also. But what really got me through that point was realizing I gotta make decisions like Maria would want. Knowing her personality, if I were asking her would she want to be there, was one time she gripped my hand really hard when I was talking to her, and if you have a stroke, sometimes you can't even readjust your face expressions.
Right.
Can't even open your eyelids because you lose all those capabilities.
Right.
So it just seemed like her face slightly drooped, like she just seemed sad, and it just made me feel like that. I feel like it gave me confirmation when I was thinking that she wouldn't want to be in that position. That was the first time in, I want to say, like 8 days that she had made any movement.
Right.
And I was talking to her, and I was telling her at the moment, you don't have to keep fighting for me. Like, you can, I really want you to do what's best for you. But I want you to stay here, but I just want you to do what's best for you, because
Right.
it just looks so painful. Being in the ICU with your family member plugged up to tubes coming in and out of
Girl.
everywhere, it makes you feel like a blood bag. Like,
Girl,
it really does.
I believe it.
And it just made me realize that ain't it. Like, that ain't it. I can't imagine. I'm 22. I can't imagine my feisty mom, this being what I remember of her. You know what I mean? I want to remember. I want to remember her as she was. You know.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't want to say a bunch of eyes in there, but I also feel like she would have wanted the same thing. But anyways, I'm rambling on. You can cut a lot of that out if necessary. So sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Girl, we only 15 minutes in.
Okay. But what was I gonna say? So after that 16th day, no, the 15th day, my grandma was there with me every other day, and her mother, by the way, and she was basically just looking sad and down. So me and Malcolm were both concerned about her, so we had like a wellness check, and we asked her, are you okay? What you been up to, you know, just trying to figure out what's been up with her. This is her last child out of 3 children that has passed.
Oh my gosh.
So, and she lost her husband. So, my grandma's only 61, so that's not really old.
That's young. That's, you know, not like, that's not old.
Yeah, basically. So it's just like, that's a lot, but she's a Jehovah's Witness, and I don't know what it is, but she's just never down. Like, she's just stick and move with a smile, and I don't know if it be fake or if it just be with her beliefs, but she just be
right
pushing on. And I was checking on her though, and like I said, she mentioned Shanice, and I don't mean to name drop, but FDB. But so I'm sorry to laugh at that, but dang. So I asked her about how she was doing, and she immediately mentioned my cousin Shanice, who I didn't even know was still at her house. My mom invited her over, saying that she was willing to help her get on her feet if she could help her, because my mom had a 3rd stroke, which caused her some slight mobility problems, so she could still move around and be independent and talk. But she may need, like, if she needed someone there if she did fall or if she did need some help.
Yeah.
You know, because going up and down stairs, their house wasn't really made for someone with a disability. And we were all adjusting to that. I was doing everything I could being there, but I'm coming all the way from High Point, so we thought Shanice could handle the role, her being an adult now. But little did we know Shanice was dealing with some kind of demons or something, like some type of mental. I don't want to say if it's just something wrong with her. I don't know what's up with her, but I wish her the best. But it was just really a flip the switch. I had seen her 2 months prior. We were good. I did notice she was acting a bit off. Yeah. And I said it to multiple people, because she was just acting like she wasn't a part of half the conversations that made the plan for that 2 months. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, so that was a red flag to me that my grandma mentioned Shanice. But we wait until the next day. Me and Malcolm sit up there with my mom for that whole day, and then, because at this point they've taken her off the life support, so we're just basically waiting.
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
hard.
And I mean, I sat there all day. Took a couple minutes to we ordered some food, so we went down there to get it, and then we were supposed to come right back up, but some odd reason we just was like, let's just go to the car. And we went to the car. We were supposed to just eat our food right there, run right back up. Yeah. But something in me and Malcolm both kind of had an epiphany moment. Like, we were literally on the same frequency. Like, we were both like, was it weird yesterday how my grandmother reacted?
Support break. What's up, you guys? Hey, take this time right now as you go potty because, our segments are pretty long, but it's okay. You love us anyway. Take this time right now to go ahead and download that Patreon app if you have not already. And if you have, what? You guys are amazing. Amazing. But if you haven't, what's wrong with you? Go ahead and download that app and support us for our very own drift track, you guys, here in North Carolina. You guys, our Patreon link is patreon.com NOELLC. That's patreon.com NOELLC.
Or was it weird how she mentioned Shanice when we were asking how she was doing, and she mentioned how Shanice is acting up? It's just like, that's, what does that mean exactly? And then we begged her to best let us know what does acting up mean, Grandma, but she know how I am.
Right.
So she trying to save the same person who doesn't care for her, basically.
Oh my God.
My grandma, if you know her, she don't like any disruption, and in order to make peace, sometimes there got to be a little disruption.
Right.
And so it turned out I crank up the car. First of all, we agreed we were just gonna go back upstairs, stay up there for a couple more hours, and then go to my grandmother's.
Right.
But I randomly just crank up the car and started driving, and he was like, "Where are we going?" And I was like, "My grandma's." And we go there, and I have a key to the house. My mom had gave me a key to the house when she had her third stroke, just in case. And I just feel like she knew something was coming along.
Yeah.
If not physically, subconsciously, or you know what I mean. But I end up showing up at my grandma's Bible study night. So I give her a sweet hey, go up to my mother's room. I notice Shanice is there, but I disregard her. I go up to my mother's room, and something on me and Malcolm while we're riding there, this is what we also realized. I took her to her last few appointments on June 30th for her follow-up appointment, and she somehow ended up misplacing, I want to say 12 bottles of pills.
What?
Blood thinners that were supposed to prevent the next stroke, because if you a stroke basically is blood clots in the brain.
Right.
Once one area has that problem, it's kind of a domino effect.
Right.
But if you can keep from having blood clots, you can really help it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's vital you have those blood thinners. So we noticed how my mom's pills went missing, and we went and got, the first time they went missing, we put them on the table in the living room, me and Malcolm. So I know I'm not tripping, he know he not tripping.
Right.
We move everything that they gave us for her disabilities into the house, and then we call and check every single day. 2 days later, my mom says, "Oh, my pills been gone." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" We put them on the table for you. We watched you take those. She was like, "Yeah, but I haven't seen them since." Me thinking, okay, I spoke to you yesterday. You were acting like you were going to take them, but you couldn't find them. She was basically agreeing to that, saying that she couldn't find them. So I'm like, who all was there? It was her, Shanice, and my grandmother. I asked my grandmother, "Do you know what happened to the pills?" She said, "No, we just disregard that. Go and get some more pills." And for the ones that we could refill on, because some pills you can't get within less than 30 days of one another. So already that's a problem, that she's going to be missing some medications, but we try and get as much as we can and then start her back up on those. Yeah. Those go missing. So we just realizing this along the way there. And the only person, we already asked my grandma, and she said she didn't have nothing to do with it. Right. Because she don't take her medicine or mess with her medicine, she said. The only other person there was Shanice. Now, if you know Shanice, she has the history of just doing weird shit. Excuse my French. I love her, but I was told through the grapevine of a family member that she unplugged her mom's oxygen tank to charge her phone.
The heck going on in the world?
And that ain't funny. That ain't funny, Lord. I'm sorry. But it's just, I'm sorry, guys.
My gosh.
But it's just like, this is a red flag. Why did her mom not do something about that? Like, now you got this itch over my mama house doing the same probably vendetta type stuff, you know? And it's just like, my mama could have easily ticked off Shanice and she threw away her medicine or something. because she's clearly not in her right mind to be also putting her hands on my grandma, which I didn't know at the moment. So I go upstairs to my mom's room that Shanice has now moved into, which is, my mom did give her that room to stay the night at the few nights that she was saying she could stay there to help her.
Girl, wait a minute.
But she been gone for weeks and think I don't know that. So she trying to act like, oh, I've been staying here the whole time. I just went back to my mom's. No, you moved back in with your mom.
And she's in your mother's room.
Yes. But my mom gave her that room because she was having problems making it up the stairs, and it was already set up. She was saying, Shanice, you can put a couple things in there if you're going to be staying here to help me. But my mom called me and Malcolm multiple times complaining how Shanice didn't want to help. And when we had seen my mom a week before she ended up in the hospital, my mom asked Shanice to run up the stairs and grab something for her. And Shanice had a nasty attitude, but she didn't say anything to give me reason to blame. You get what I'm saying? Approach it. You could just smell her nasty attitude, and she was just like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm trying to buy a cigarette." And my mama ended up giving her a cigarette. And she just kind of tossed 25 cents on the damn table for a fucking cent, bitch. Anyway, I just disregarded that because I'm like, maybe she's just having a bad day. Let this little bitch go smoke that cigarette. Calm down. I ran upstairs, got my mama needed, etc.
Right.
But that was a red flag that she was catching an attitude with my mom, asking her to run up the stairs. The only reason you here is because my mama needs your help.
Right.
The only reason you live in here, you don't pay no bills.
Right.
My mama willing to help you get a job, 2 jobs.
Girl.
Use her car for DoorDash and her account, and help her become a PCA. And
could it have been drugs?
That's what someone else said. And we gonna get into that, because look, this is what gave me the red flag of was she taking my mother's pills? And mind you, this could really be what killed my mom. Like, that's the craziest part. But I'm the type of person, I don't like to bear false witness. And she had that stroke already before she entered that hospital multiple times before. So I just let go and let God.
If it walks like a crackhead, but it does meth, like, isn't it still a drug addict?
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, OMG, she really flipped the switch on me. So, you could just, when we got there from my grandmother, back on track, you could just see Shanice had a bad attitude. I'm very good with energy. I can feel that shit like the breeze of wind. It's very natural for me.
This is you coming back from the hospital right now.
Yes,
right.
This is me back, walk through the door, going up to my mom's room to start going through her stuff, looking for these pills that we noticed.
Right.
Just so randomly missing. Mind you, we come in here off of mere luck. We were supposed to be just grabbing the food,
right,
heading back up.
Right.
We don't even know what we're here for. We're literally on a ghost hunt. Like, we don't even know what we're here for. I just leaned straight on my intuition. And we realized the pills was a red flag. So we go there, start looking around my mom's room, only in my mom's stuff. Shanice comes up and say, don't touch none of my stuff. And I told her, I don't plan on it. Why she has a nasty attitude, that's the last of my worries. My mom is in the hospital right now.
Exactly.
I'm here and my spirit is itching. So I'm trying to figure out, what am I here for? Something that made me come all the way across here off of mere love. I literally was supposed to be grabbing my little fish tray, heading back up. Right. So why am I here is what I stayed focused. Me and Malcolm start looking through a purple tote that's my mom's, and we find a pill bag. Malcolm sits them on the bed. Mind you, this is when Shanice comes and sits on the bed. She just staring off in front of her. Like, she just wants she just itching for somebody to say something to her, to give her a reason to say something. Mm-hmm. But we literally I'm focused. Like, right. I'm not even worried about you. So she, after he sits it on the bed, she picks it up and sits it back in the tote while he's still pulling stuff out. So it's just like, why are you messing with him? He pulled it back out and says to her, in a decent tone, I pulled that out for a reason. I don't know, she says some dumb shit that doesn't make sense and calls herself trying to put it back in there. And Malcolm like, yo. So I turn around. I'm like, what the fuck is your problem?
Right.
You know? First of all, my mama is on her deathbed. Why are you fucking with us right now?
Exactly.
And I just was straightforward. Why are you fucking with me right now? She was like, that's not my problem. That right then and there, I'm just fucking baffled by this response because, mind you, this is my weakest point right now.
Right.
I've been in the hospital 16 days, haven't had no fucking sleep. So this is my best friend / sister / cousin. I don't have any siblings. This is the closest thing I've ever had to a sibling in my entire life.
Right.
And that's her reaction. You staying in my mama room, in my mama bed. So I'm like, I start snapping. And I said what the hell needed to be said. Bitch, you in my mama house. Why are you here? You're not paying nothing. And you got the nerve to say you don't care about my mama with the situation that she in right now. Malcolm like, you got to go. So we start putting her out my grandma's house.
Exactly.
She like, bitch, I'm not going nowhere. You can come outside and fight me right now. Da 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 da. I'm like, I'm in my head like, she want to fight me because she's staying in my grandma's house. And being disrespectful. I got a key here. I don't got to stay here to tell you, you leaving today. And I made that happen. And it's just like, I was very thrown off by that. Just her, if you know Shanice, you would have never seen it coming. Like, she's a quiet person and she had just been acting a little weird. I was giving it pass after pass. Just like, okay, these are red flags, but maybe she just going through some shit. Her mom just put her out, she claimed. But I see why. You unplugged her oxygen tank. You're acting like a nutcase.
Oh my gosh.
And she letting you come over here to somebody who older than her and definitely can't handle you. That's child neglect. I feel like I don't care how grown your child is. If she not in her right mind, you need to address that.
Exactly.
Get her some help. Don't keep throwing her off on other family members. Like, oh, she's too hard for me to handle. Then what the hell you think 61-year-old Sadie gonna stay? But anyway, so I end up going down the stairs. My grandma in between me and her. We going downstairs to fight at this point. Cause as soon as I get this bitch outside, I'm about to go crazy.
Girl.
Lord. Just cause I got so much going on, and you got the nerve to say you don't care about me. My mama problems is not your problem. She said a little more than that. She was like, I don't care about y'all. That ain't my problem. And then she was just popping big shit. Like, you can fight me because I'm not going nowhere. And she was just going in. Then she was talking about some conspiracy she made about me and my man's relationship. Like, she was just making up shit out of nowhere. And it was just like, yeah, I'm about to finish her. So
finish him.
So we get down the steps, and and she go in the living room instead of outside, which she told me come outside. But she go in the living room, my grandma standing in between us, and she starts swinging. So with my grandma in between us, so I'm sorry, I start swinging around my grandma, and then Malcolm moved my grandma out the way because my grandma thinks she geared to stop us from fighting. Well, no, no, man. So, what I was gonna say, so my grandma out the way, me and Shanice fighting. My grandma's living room is so small. She got little odd tables here and there. So we working around and shit. So she on the ground, I'm fighting her. We in between the little rocking chair sofas and the bookshelf. Okay, we're going in, and then just out of nowhere, shout out to Malcolm, I did a little ninja throat check. I don't even know what this is classified as, but anyway, she was up out of there. So she just got up and walked out the house and sat outside. And then she caught herself trying to run back in with a perfume bottle and spray Malcolm in the face, and he just threw her outside. Like,
the heck going on?
Like, girl, just relax. So at this point, we done called the police because she really thinks she about to come back in here. We need somebody to help her grab her things and ban her from this neighborhood. Right. Because you are acting crazy. Mind you, we don't even know what all really happened. I feel like her, just to check back on her grabbing the pills, I feel like that was confirmation that she had something to do with the pills, because out of all the things that we pulled out of that tote, she only picked up the pills to put back in the tote like she had something to hide. And my mama's been on medicine for years, so she should have had some pill bottles laying around. But she only had 2 from 2018. And I know she had more than that.
Not just blood thinners.
Not just blood thinners. High blood pressure, diabetes. She had insulin. Everything went missing.
So those are not psychedelic pills. Like, you can't get. Exactly. So basically she's just either selling those, sold them,
We don't know what. It can't even get you. It's not nothing that can get you high. It can maybe something that can tweak something if you don't need it. I don't know.
Girl.
But yeah, it was wild. So after we get her out the house, she's sitting outside. We're all waiting on the police, and my grandma Malcolm started looking around the house. He finds 2 threat notes written like by somebody that's mad. Like it was written like a 5-year-old, like it with so much anger. Just to say it like that, she made 2 notes left around her stuff that said, Sadie, don't touch my stuff, especially if you don't want no problems between me and your granddaughter. And the other one said, Sadie, don't touch my stuff, especially if you don't want no problems between me and Fatima.
Oh my God.
Ain't no telling how long them papers been there. And I hadn't even spoke to her. So for her to even mention me, you get what I'm saying? It was just like, I'm supposed to be here.
Right.
So, my grandma Malcolm bring those papers for basically like, have you seen these papers? And my grandma, so naive, she trying to act like she hasn't seen it. She's like, no, I didn't see those around. You talking about them little scribbled notes from Shanice? I ain't never really read them. I seen them, but I ain't read them. But I just feel like she was just covering for her. And my grandma was just like, I don't know what's wrong with Niecy. I tried to overlook what she did the other day. She really been acting up. And I'm like, Grandma, you been saying she been acting up. What does that mean? So she was just like, me and her got the fight and she hit me. And I'm like, what you mean she hit you? So mind you, this shit, I'm at the weakest point of my life right now.
Girl, she laid hands on your grandmother.
And she laid hands on my grandma. I mean, I see red. Malcolm trying to keep me from going outside. My grandma like, yeah, we got in I'm like, Grandma, what you mean she hit you? She like, we got in a whole fight and then I just pushed her off, like a physical fist fight. And then my grandma pushed her off of her and she said Jehovah took care of it. And they just separated and went apart. And she said this girl had the nerve to say to her, you lucky, that's all I did.
Oh, Jehovah would have been in these hands. He would have been in these hands.
So me hearing all of this while my mom is in the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
Little did I know. I'm going. So the police get there. She proves that she fucking crazy because they escort her upstairs. They get there before I can go outside and whoop her ass from me finding out what happened with my grandma. But because of that, they escort her upstairs and try to make her grab her stuff. This girl lays on the bed with 2 officers in the room and says, I'm not going nowhere. I know my rights. I've been here for more than 14 days. First of all, it's 30, dummy. I hope you hear this.
Oh my God.
It's 30 days, first of all. And she just laid there. So they had to remove her physically from the house and grabbed a little bit of her belongings and was like, keep it inside the house. But we told them, no, it's going to stay on the porch. We don't want her to have no reason to come back in. We know y'all probably going to let her sign out.
Right.
So they took her wherever she needed to go and banned her from our apartments. I go downtown trying to file not only a police report, but charges for my grandma. But of course, they told me I couldn't do that.
So for those that don't know, certain places that like living, like certain apartments or housing or something like that, once the police is called and that person is escorted off out of the neighborhood, you are like banned. You're not allowed to enter back in. You can't even get, even if you stay there, you're not allowed back in. Like, that's it.
Mind you, she had only been there for 3 days. Then my grandma also told me she broke in. My grandma said she came home from work and Shanice was there.
What?
But she was so comfortable doing this because my mom had invited her to stay there. She was leaning off how my mom invited her to stay there months prior, but she never stayed there. She just came and stayed the night here and there, basically. Just made it a place to crash. She never came to live there. Mind you, my mom's not on the lease, so she can't make that call anyway.
Right.
And that's always, thank God she wasn't at this point, because that was an upper hand. We didn't have to wait for my mom to be deceased to make that call.
So today, what about locks changed or anything like that?
She didn't have a key. I had a key.
Right.
My grandma had a key. We were the only 2 with the key. I didn't even live there. And my mom made sure we were the only 2 with the key. So I feel like that was also a red flag. Like, she may have had even worse attitude without me knowing my mother, because why do you live? If you live here, why you don't have a key?
Right. But your grandmother's safe though, right?
Yeah, my grandmother's fine now. So she even got a job at my grandmother's job, but that's another story for another day. Jesus.
So no surprise visits or break-ins.
No surprise visits or break-ins. Thankfully, the back window was unlocked. She just took the screen off and climbed her way in and stayed for 3 days and threatened my grandma. So that's why the notes were there, saying especially, don't touch my stuff if you don't want a problem between me and your grandma. I mean, me and your granddaughter. Basically, she was saying if you move my stuff out, since I done moved myself in here.
You saved these letters.
Yes, but just so fucking funny. I don't know where I put them.
Girl, bye.
Girl, 80. I mean, it was like I don't know if y'all know, but depression can make you forget.
Where?
And
that's.
it was kicking my ass.
Girl, bye.
I mean, I was having the hardest time remembering stuff about me and my mom. Like, it was kicking my ass, and I feel like in that during that time, mind you. I went downtown. We didn't get done with going downtown until like 3 o'clock at night. We finally drive back home for the first time in days, for a first time to stay the night home in days. And then we get a call at 3 something in the morning saying my mom passed.
Oh my God.
So that hit home. We get dressed, we go, and from there we call everybody up, and my dad meets me there, and he tells me while standing over my mom, this is the only thing that I can remember him saying, we're not getting cremation, and I'll help with the expenses, but I'm not coming to a funeral. I love you. Goodbye.
What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Social Night Owl podcast, the podcast at night, brought to you by Night Owl Entertainment LLC.com. Do not forget the LLC.com. We thank you guys so much for being here, for supporting us. You guys are so awesome in every flipping freaking way. We ask right now, guys, that if you haven't already, go ahead and download that Patreon app. That Patreon app is going to help you guys become members every month. Is going to help the donations for our drift track. That's right, our very own drift track here in North Carolina. Our Patreon is NOELLC. That is NOELLC. You can go ahead and find us on Facebook. That's NO Entertainment LLC, and also follow our Instagram at NO Entertainment LLC. For the podcast, you guys, our Instagram, our Facebook is TSNO podcast. That's TSNO podcast. Go ahead and do that, you guys. Check out our website for more details. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome.